Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Everyone, all right? Everyone charge it up for another session. This is the day 5. And I guess we have done a lot of stuff. It is just a preparation. The stuff we have done is only the preparation for what we want to accomplish from this class, right? So is my screen visible? Hope my screen is visible. Okay, is voice LC loud and clear? Nice. Okay. I don't know why there are only 19 students today, but we got to get started because I have to do a lot of stuff later on. So we will start. In the meantime, okay, admit. Keep on the eye on admit window. Okay, Ishfaq, Sulman, Hurmat, Sahareen Khan is there, and so on. Your cameras are off, and I don't like it at all. This doesn't make any sense to sit in a class with the cameras off. So I'm requesting everyone before, I don't want to remove anyone, but it will be really not nice, but I will remove somebody from the class on the basis of cameras. So try to put on your cameras, everyone. It will be nice to have a good interaction wherein we can have a face-to-face interaction, because this is a long path we have to traverse. This is not just a simple, because being a web developer, you need to have all the jargon, all the technologies in your brain, all the nuts and bolts. It's not, I told you in the beginning class that this is not going to be just a Udemy, 2 days for HTML, 3 days for CSS, and 4 days for JavaScript and done. This is going to be a rigorous class where we are learning inside out. So the traversal of our path, as I have shown it today, the picture, right? I have given you already the picture. This is what we're gonna accomplish. This is like an elephant. Absolutely, this is an elephant. This is a huge, kind of a knowledge out there. And it is well known proverb that if you want to eat elephant, eat one bite at a time. यानी कि अगर आपको एक हाथी खाना है तो आपको लगता है पहले बार कि मैं एक हाथी इतना बड़ा कैसे खा सकता हूँ. So, but if you eat just one bite a day, eventually you will actually eat whole elephant, maybe a couple of them. It doesn't bother you. So we will make it very simple and all. You can understand each and every bit, but only thing is you have to be working with me. And inshallah ta'ala, this is going to be very smooth track. But this is the track. I was trying to give you web foundations and all. Okay. This is what we're trying to do. And now we are on this step where this HTML5, but there are a lot of things to be done, to be honest. There are tons of things we should be done on the web foundation stage. But बच्चे बोर हो जाते हैं अगर ज़्यादा थ्योरी पढ़ेंगे एंड ऑल. सो आज के बच्चों को उतनी पेशेंस तो है नहीं. So I have to, little bit move on, and then we come back to those things again. In the meantime, we learn something and we do some practicals. So you will see that we are doing something. And in the meantime, we come back and talk about all the technologies which we should talk, right? Now, in HTML5, today's class, by tomorrow, we will start building the semantic tags and start building the page, the layout of the web. Tomorrow is the practical. You have to get your laptop with you. But today we need to understand first what is the HTML5, okay? And why is it different from HTML, which is so long? From 2014, we had HTML, 14, and before that we got a HTML, any HTML, whatever it is, XHTML or HTML 14 below and all. I mean HTML 4 below and all. They are all, having nothing in front of HTML5. Because in HTML4, below that, on XHTMLs and all the stuff, and it has been, like in I guess in 2014 we got HTML5, right? Before that, in I think 1998 or something, the HTML4 hit the internet, and then for so long, like up to 2000, from 2000, it just, everybody was using HTML4, and then, for so long, up to 2014, around 14, 15, 16 years, we had been, with the HTML, other HTMLs other than 5. But it was all having a lot of issues, and now HTML5 has dramatically changed everything. So we need to understand it. So what in HTML5 we're expecting from me, that what you're going to do in this maybe couple of weeks or more than 2, where we understand HTML5 inside out. But it's not about HTML5. You come up, many people think, oh, we have done the tags, A tag and B tag and C tag. The HTML5 is not those tags, right? HTML5 is a full-blown package. It's a big boss. It's not the old tags. It's a something different. But we come to the HTML5 and start discussing it. I would like to just sneak some 10 to 15 minutes on this slide, okay? Wherein there was a question between wireframe, mockup, and prototype. And Amir, I could see, but he should open up his camera. He gave the answer to the question that it is the wireframe, not the mockup. So let us just discuss 10 to 15 minutes the difference between wireframe, mockup, and the prototype. There is one more thing called a prototype. You should know that. Okay, and the prototype is the actual thing which goes to the developer. When you end up in a developing company, the prototype will come to you. The mockups and these wireframes won't hit on your desk. It is the prototype which you will get, and you have to work on the prototype. Okay, and if you are a UX designer, then there's a different course. We could have added up the UX design into this, but it will take me so long. Maybe we will later on catch up with the UX design also. But UX design guys are the guys who will work with the wireframes and mockups, and there are a lot of tools, to learn to make those mockup. जो wireframe है उसके लिए तो आपको pen and copy चाहिए, that you are jotting down the layout without any colors and all. But if you go for a mockup, then you go for the prototype, then you need to learn a lot of softwares. But we are not going as a designers, we're going the developing side. We are going on the coders. So the prototype will hit to your desk, but you should know that what is prototype, what is mockup, and what is wireframe, right? So let's break it down. The wireframe versus mockup versus prototype. Give 10, 15 minutes concentration full. That's why I told you your brain should be today with you, right? Because this is all the brainstorming session where we learn about these things. The first thing is the wireframe, which is the low fidelity, and mockup, it's the medium fidelity, and prototype is the high fidelity. Yeah. Yes. Any questions? No. Somebody, I thought he's asking a question. What I'm saying is wireframe, you just use pen and the copy, okay? And some pages, and you draw the lines. That coffee page I sent was the wireframe. As with a couple of guys, Abrar and who is Abrar, by the way? Can you raise your hand? Is your webcam on? Abrar, who usually give answers to the questions, Can you raise your hand? Oh, yes, here you are. Here you are. Okay, Abrar. Abrar is more active person there. I really like it. And these guys were discussing this thing, that it's a low fidelity. And then there was a medium fidelity mockup, and high fidelity is the prototype. Well, so what does it mean? Okay. So because in wireframe, as you could see on the screen, I will also, you don't need to write this, because whatever I'm showing on a screen, I'm going to send you. I'm not keeping it with me. Okay. I'm going to, whatever I will show on the screen, I will send you that PDF. Okay. This is a PPT right now, but I will convert it into PDF and send it to you. So you don't need to write what is on a screen. But if there is some additional point and I told you write it, then you will write it. Okay. Other than you concentrate and listen properly. So I am saying that we got a wireframe. We got in wireframe is a low fidelity. Why? because there are simple boxes, there are text which convey a concept. Okay, but mock-up, which add up the logos, the colors and icons, which make it more realistic. And the prototype is something which is clickable, which is working, and which is what? Which is perfect. Now, if I ask you somebody a question, but before that, I will. So does that mean that why in wireframe we use the copy and pen, right? So in mockup, we will be using some softwares. What about prototype? Because we have to build it now, kill cable and all. So are we using the code? What do you say? What do you say? This is the clear picture of the three, where the concept is clear. So this is the prototype which is running in a mobile phone, as you could see, and it is clickable. It is, you click here, the drop down comes in, and you do whatever you have in your, whatever you are trying to build is there, right? So what do you think? The prototype, is it made in the, done the coding and all, HTML, CSS, JavaScript and other things?
Software like Figma and all.
There's background noise. Or mute. Keep it mute. There's background noise coming. Somebody said something. I don't know exactly. But definitely not.
This
There is no.
basically we use Figma and Adobe XD for prototyping, like which page redirects where. Like
Absolutely.
we have different buttons, then we redirect from one page to another page.
Exactly. But not only the, we have other softwares also. Somebody is coming just now. It's late. They should come on time because otherwise they won't learn. Yes, you're right. But there are other softwares also. But it's not something programming where you make it clickable, the anchor tag and all going on. No. Or header in case of PHP going on. No. It is the softwares again. So now you will read about the wireframe and markup and prototype, about low and middle and high fidelity. Okay, because in a wireframe we are trying to discuss the layout. There are people, first thing first is we want to see whether the layout is right or not. Then when we are done with the layout, right, say for example you have to make a house, the first thing you must discuss is ki kitchen roja yetin, drawing room roja yapar, parking roja yapar kin yapar roja, isn't it? Would you be first interested in the color of the walls and all? No, you won't be interested in color of walls. You will be interested in the overall layout. So overall layout, you don't need to color to show exactly how the walls look, how the washroom look, the tiles on the washroom look. You don't want to show that right now. But the first thing you will be discussing will be the layout of your house. कि कौन house का कमरा किधर से होगा. So that means you will use a pen and you will start writing on the page, making the boxes and showing that this is the wall. You go hamsai sun devar, yapar is a park, yapar is a ye, yapar is a parking slot, yapar is a lawn, yapar is a kitchen, yapar is washroom and all. We make it on the piece of page. And when we are done with this, that we are okay, we are done. Okay, I'm happy with this. Maybe for example, my neighbor on the left, he was making house. I told him he was making on the house on a this side, on the west side of his land. I told him, bro, what are you doing? If you make it on the west side, it will shade all of your lawn. एक तो वहां पे आपको shade आ जाएगी, you won't have any sun, and secondly, that the lawn grass will not also grow. So he changed that layout. So what I'm telling you is that this layout is the first thing which we do, and that's called as wireframe, where we have all the boxes and all, right? We have the boxes and okay, why is not going back? Here, you got the boxes and all. When you're done with the layout and wireframes and all, then you move on to the mock-up, where you put up the colors on the page. Now, I'm showing you that this, it will be tiles like this. It will be like this. So all the color and feel and look and feel, we will discuss the look and feel and all that. Okay? Wasim Farooq. No issues. That's really nice that you are still attending the class while you are somewhere else. That's perfect. Now, when you are done with that, now you will like to show the functionality of your site. That you open up this door, one can then bell, you think like a camera, you like a home cheese, right? So that means you will talk about the, so who will be doing this? Firstly, who will be doing the wireframe? It will be mostly the PM. What is PM? The Modi ji. What do you think PM is? Is it Prime Minister who will do this for you?
Project manager maybe.
Exactly. It says the product manager, right? Now, then it's a product man. So therefore, you will have a product management tools to do this. This won't be just a simple pen, and there will be techniques, special techniques to do that. Okay, then when you reach a consensus, means आपने सब जो वहां पे प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर्स हैं उन्होंने consensus दिखाया, हाँ जी ठीक है, कस्टमर ने भी कहा हाँ जी ठीक है, then you move on to the next thing, that is the markup, right? So then you come to the markup. But again, the markup will be done with the digital softwares, okay? And it will be done primarily by the UX designers, okay? So there is a special courses if you are interested in, because there are jobs in the design, website design also, where you become as a UX designer. Then you have to learn those softwares and all. And then we have, so right on the assignment, it is very important that you do the assignment. I'm telling you time and again, because the technologies, the terms, when you are if you want to excel as a web developer, you need to understand each and everything, right? So you have to make that's why I saw GitHub where everything goes on, so that you can go back to it and see, right? Because it's a repository. It will be your treasure hunt. It will be like your treasure then, this GitHub. Where you are putting your stuff. It is your treasure. Understand that. So what are the digital softwares which UX designer use for mockup? Okay. So what is mockup done? Mockup is put up color. What has mockup done? Mockup is put up what? Color to the wireframe. Okay. It is giving the colors and layouts and all lot of things it will do, right? Okay, but it's not something clickable. It's not something, where the functionality is there or not. You can see the function. You want to test the site. You want to test कि अगर मैंने इसको क्लिक किया किधर जाएगा, क्या उधर जाना चाहिए कि उधर दूसरी जगह जाना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने यहाँ पे लॉग आउट किया, लॉग आउट के बाद किधर जाना चाहिए, लॉग आउट के बाद भाई लॉग इन पेज पे जाना चाहिए. सो अगर वो नहीं जा रहा है तो यू विल डिस्कस, नो वेयर इज गोइंग, इट्स गोइंग समवेयर एल्स, इट शुडंट गो समवेयर एल्स, शुड गो टू द लॉग इन पेज, है ना. ऐसी चीजें आ सकती है ना कि आपने कुछ किया, क्लिक मारा, इधर किधर जाता है. तो आपको जो वहां पे कस्टमर्स हैं या जो लेआउट डिजाइनर्स हैं वो आपको बताएंगे कि नहीं सर, इट शुड गो टू समवेयर एल्स. So these things will be discussed when it is working. And we have one tool called AHA. Okay. It's not like you have drank some sweet and you say AHA. It's a full package called AHA, which has a mock-up capabilities, which can, build all these things and all, because you want to do usable testing and user feedbacks. Now you have UX tools like InVision, Sketch, like he was saying about the Adobe's and all, but there are other softwares also. So you will also write with the assignment, second assignment, the software tools used for prototyping. Okay. Hopefully you got it. And we say thanks for this, prototyping versus mock-up versus this thing. But is everybody clear? Bisma Sultan, are you clear with the mock-up versus wireframe versus that prototyping?
Yes, sir.
Sure, everybody? Anybody have any issues with this? I will be sending this PDF to you guys so that you will recap this and all. So we move on to our topic, today's topic, that is the boss HTML5. Okay. So what are the differences, what we got, and what we are going to, expecting these couple of weeks that we will be working on it. And there are tons to deal with. Starting by tomorrow by the semantic tags, right? And we understand the Amir's question, how the semantic tags different than the div and how it helps in SEO. What is SEO? Yes, anybody open the mic and tell me what is SEO?
Search engine
Search engine optimization.
Exactly. Keep in mind that SEO was done with the meta tags, okay? And Amir told us in the question that it is done by the semantic tags. So you will understand it from the couple of days, and when we go on the semantic tags by tomorrow. So tomorrow you will have all laptops and we will start design the layout. But today we understand what we got in HTML5, right? So HTML, little history of it. We have the HTML published in 1991, and today we've got HTML 5.1, which is not in practice, but we have HTML 5. So it may be in 2016 that we will go fully HTML 5.1. The rest you know, right? So it's a newest version. We understand that. And new browsers have now supported the HTML5. But you should understand a very important point that HTML, this is, maybe I write it on it. Start writing something on it. That the HTML, the rest, I call them HTML, the rest which was, before HTML5. I call it HTML, right? Whatever that is. That could be, that could be HTML 2.0, that could be XHTML, that could be HTML4, and so on and so forth, right? But I'm saying HTML, okay, the 5th version HTML versus the HTML, the previous versions, and so on. This HTML5 is not just the tags, okay? It's a collection of standards. You should understand it's a collection of standards. Okay, remember that thing. We go tomorrow into the practical, but unless and until you do not have a clear idea what we have in HTML5, that it won't help you. So it's a collection of standards. It's not just only the HTML, it is having the JS and CSS tree with it as a part of it. It's out of box. It's not, in HTML, before HTML5, we had plugins with the concept of what? We had the class concept of plugins. Okay? Now there are no plugins. In HTML5, we don't have plugins. Everything is out of box. Okay? It was like you had earlier a laptop, but it doesn't have a graphics card. You have to plug in the graphics card. You have to plug in something to, some extension so that you can put up the USB and etc., etc. Then came the complete laptops, which have webcam integrated. Before that, webcam, you had to put up the webcam on, as an extension. That was the kind of a plugin. Like, for example, you want to have a graphics, SVG. For that, you have to use a Flash. You have the Flash. Sarin Khan, अब आई क्या? ये अब खाना खा के आई मुझे लगता है. So you have the plugins before that, but now we don't have plugins. Everything is inside. So you don't have a plugin. For example, you had a plugin for, like, you have the Silverlight. Okay, we have the Silverlight, we have the Flash before. Oh, it's not writing properly. We have the Flash, Flash, right? But now I think the pen is little, I should use different pen. Yeah, it was spreading the ink. You have the Flash and all. Now Flash is not, it is being Adobe Flash. It is being not supported by the browsers now. This year, every browser stopped the support to the Adobe Flash because HTML5 comes in. You have the canvas and you have the SVG, where you can draw your vector graphics. You can draw your vector graphics. Can anyone tell me the difference between scalar graphics and vector graphics? As a web developer, you should know it. The difference between scalar graphics and vector graphics. If you don't know, write it in assignment. Write an assignment. Difference between scalar graphic and vector. This is a first thing when you go as a web designer. You need to know it. Okay. In your MCA, you have actually web designing where you have Photoshops and all. This is the first term in any graphics program you do. Even in the C programming, when you have a graphics, so there is a scalar graphics, vector graphics. I will just tell you a little bit, then you will write proper assignment to it. So that assignment is not for me. Keep that in mind. Okay, assignment is for you. You are building your own repository. In scalar graphics, what we do is we create a picture using pixels. Okay, what we do, we create a picture. For example, this is a picture, and we create a pixels. But there are a lot of gaps between the pixels. But when we draw them closely and all, they look nice. But if we zoom, these pixel colors go a little further away, it looks pixelated. It looks very, resolution वारिया खराब, क्योंकि pixels कम हो रहे हैं ना, तो कलर अच्छा दिख नहीं रहा. लेकिन जो आपका वेक्टर ग्राफिक्स है वो ये चीजें मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूला से बनाता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ही हैज टू ड्रॉ अ लाइन. जो वेक्टर जो स्केलर ग्राफिक्स है वो इसको पिक्सेल्स कलर करेगा एरिया को. लेकिन अगर आपने इसको जूम किया तो जो कलर नजदीक दिख रहा था आप दूर दिख रहा है. सो व्हाट्स कॉल्ड पिक्सेलेटेड पिक्चर एंड इट डजंट लुक गुड. लेकिन जो आपका वेक्टर ग्राफिक्स है इट यूजेस मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूला टू ड्रॉ द कलर बिटवीन 2 पॉइंट्स. ठीक है, इसने लाइन मारी. अब आपने क्या जूम किया, अब ये पॉइंट्स दो बाहर हो गए. It will again use the formula to calculate the distance between the 2 points and draw the color. So it will be again good. So that means that if you have a vector graphics and you want to put that picture on a big screen, huge screen, it won't get pixelated because all colors will be calculated with the mathematical formulas and all. So it will be perfect. Whether you watch it on a mobile phone or you watch it on a big screen. So it will be not pixelated because it's not made up of pixels, right? So you just do your homework and work on it. So hope you're getting this thing, what I'm saying. Okay. Now we move on. Rather than I will go this, I will just put up an empty, then we go on with the slide, okay? Just a new slide. So that I write on it and then actually we go on a slide. There's on the slide a lot of tons of things, but I just want to give you first the briefing so that you understand properly because we are running out of time from here. So I am saying right now is that we have another point to note down that it is HTML, it is designed by W3C. You have done W3C, right? And also what WAG. Okay, what is what WAG? That is web hypertext application, okay, technology working group. So this is also your assignment. You need to know because your HTML5 comes from the what WAG and W3C. So you should know what is what WAG. Okay, so keep it in assignment. What is what WAG? But it's, I told you full form, it is the web hypertext application technology working group. But keep it in assignment also. Now, I told you it is the collection of what standards. Everything is available out of box. Keep that thing in mind. Everything is available out of box. So what is available? Firstly, we have, I will say in a box, new elements and attributes. We got new elements and attributes. We will be discussing these. What are the new elements here? What are the new attributes we got? So by tomorrow, we start the practical and start working on it. Okay. We got the new form. The form tag you have seen, but we got a new form tag here. Okay. Form controls. We have better form controls where we can do the validation and all in the HTML. So we will see that when we do the forms. Okay. And the forms are very important. The maximum times you build a database website, then you need to have a forms. It supports CSS3, right? It supports CSS3. There are, we have we can draw the graphics because we have what's called a canvas tag. We have got the canvas. We have a canvas in case of HTML5 where we can do the, vector graphics. I was talking about the vector graphics. Okay. जो मैं अभी discuss कर रहा था. जो vector graphics है, you can do that. And you can also have the SVG. Okay. So this is also an assignment. What is SVG? Vector graphics आपने किया. What is the SVG? Okay. We also have the built-in. This is not, we put up the plugins and all, we do something else. There's no plugin concepts. Everything is inside, out of box. Okay. I told you, everything is available out of box. Keep this in ticking in your brain. Everything is available out of box. That means you, जैसे आपका लैपटॉप ये है, इसमें वेबकैम भी लगा है, इसमें ये भी चीज भी लगी है, वो चीज मुझे कुछ अलग से लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. जो आपका पहले जो वर्जन्स थे उसमें ये बड़ी डिसएडवांटेज थी कि प्लगइन्स लगाने पड़ते थे और प्लगइन को बार बार अपडेट होता था, तो आपको चलते नहीं थे भाई, पहले अपडेट करो. अभी कुछ किया, पहले अपडेट करो भाई, आपका ये अपडेट है, प्लग इन अपडेट करो पहले, वो चलता नहीं चीजें, ठीक है ना। और प्लग इन क्रैश हो जाते थे, सो प्लग इन क्रैश हो गया, आपकी साइट बैठ गई। तो ये प्रॉब्लम्स बहुत उसमें थी। अब आपको स्ट्रॉन्ग टूल्स दिए गए हैं आउट ऑफ बॉक्स। ओके, सो मैंने कहा कि ग्राफिक्स आप कनवास में बनाओगे, इसमें ऑडियो एंड वीडियो, ऑडियो एंड वीडियो इंटीग्रेशन, आपके ऑडियो वीडियो इंटीग्रेशन इसके अंदर है, ठीक है जी। एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, आप जो है ना कुकीज को इस्तेमाल करते थे। व्हाट इज कुकीज एंड आई विल डील विद दैट। कुकीज आपको पता ही होगा, अक्सर आपको, जैसे आप मिंत्रा पे हो, ठीक है, अब मिंत्रा पे आप जूता खरीद रहे हो, और आपने चाहे खरीदा या नहीं खरीदा, और आपने फेसबुक खोला, या आपने स्नैपचैट खोला, या आपने कुछ और चीज खोली, और वहां उसी जूते के ऐड आपको फेसबुक थ्रो कर रहा है। अब वो कैसे हो गया, ठीक है। इसमें मैं आपको एक जोक बताऊंगा। रिसेंटली मेरी एक रिलेटिव, उसने मुझे एक वीडियो भेजा, उसने उसमें क्या बताया था उस वीडियो में कि भाई ये जो है ना, ये एप्स आजकल के हमारे ब्रेन रीड कर रहे हैं। तो मैंने भी सोचा पता नहीं क्या एआई का कुछ पंगा होगा। तो मैंने कहा, मैंने जो वीडियो देखा वो वहां पे वो जो बता रही थी, उसमें वो मोहतरमा एक थी, वो बता रही थी कि ये ब्रेन एप्स ये नहीं करने चाहिए इस्तेमाल, क्योंकि ये जो है हमारे ऐप से ब्रेन करते हैं। उसने फिर दिखाया, देखो मैं यहाँ पे ये ऐड कर रही हूँ, मैंने इसको भी शॉपिंग की, अब फेसबुक जो है ना, उसने मेरा ब्रेन रीड किया कि मैं क्या चाहती थी, और उसने मुझे वो थ्रो किया, वही ऐड। सो मैंने उसे कहा भाई साहब ये ऐसा नहीं है, ये कुकीज होती थी, कुकीज जो वेरिएबल्स हैं वो रहती हैं, यानी कि अगर आपने मिंत्रा पे कोई शॉपिंग की तो वो एड्स कुकीज में रह रहे हैं, और इनको आपस में तालमेल होता है ऐप्स को। जब फेसबुक आप खोलते हो, फेसबुक अपने एड्स फायर करता है ऑन द बेस ऑफ दैट कुकीज, बजाय इसके कि वो आपका ब्रेन को रीड कर रहा है। देयर इज नो सच थिंग व्हिच कैन रीड योर ब्रेन, राइट। मुझे लगता है आपको जोक समझ ही नहीं आया, किसी ने हंसा ही नहीं। Why is it so you are so serious guys? यानी कि कोई ब्रेन रीड नहीं कर रहा है, तो कुकीज है। लेकिन कुकीज जो है इनसिक्योर है, नॉट अ बेस्ट वे टू डू थिंग्स। सो हमारे पास एक जबरदस्त चीज आ गई HTML में, हमारे पास वेब स्टोरेज आ गई। क्या आ गई? हमारे पास वेब स्टोरेज आ गई, वो भी इंटरनल, हाँ, और विच आर बेटर देन कुकीज, विच आर मच बेटर देन कुकीज, ठीक है ना। सो कुकीज तो है फिर भी, लेकिन कुकीज से मच बेटर है। इसमें आपका वेब सीक्यूएल भी आ गया, वेब एसक्यूएल डेटाबेस, ठीक है ना, जो कि डेटाबेस अलग था, अब वेब एसक्यूएल डेटाबेस आपको आ गया। क्योंकि आजकल एक कॉन्सेप्ट आता है कि भाई साहब आपको ऑफलाइन सपोर्ट आना चाहिए। आजकल हमारी साइट जो है ना वो ऑफलाइन सपोर्ट दे रही है। मेरी बात समझे आप, ध्यान से सुने मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ। दैट्स व्हाई आई टोल्ड यू कीप योर ब्रेन विद मी टुडे, द प्रीरिक्विजिट्स। इट्स नॉट बोरिंग, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट यू अंडरस्टैंड ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स। जो ऑफलाइन सपोर्ट क्या होता है कि आपकी साइट है, इंटरनेट नहीं चल रहा है, ठीक है, और फिर भी काम हो रहा है। आपने अपनी साइट को, आप मोबाइल फोन लेके गए पिकनिक जहां पे टावर नहीं है, लेकिन आपकी साइट फिर भी काम कर रही है परफेक्टली। आप अपडेट भी कर रहे हो, आपने अपडेट किया, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने कोई चीज, आपको ट्रांजेक्शन है, आपने ट्रांजेक्शन की, वो हुई भी, हालांकि इंटरनेट है ही नहीं वहां पे, और वो असल में क्या रख रहा है, इन वेब स्टोरेज में रख रहा है चीजें, और आपको लग रहा है कि मैंने किया ये काम, लेकिन जो ही फिर वो इंटरनेट इसको मिल जाता है, वो वेब स्टोरेज से फिर अपडेट होता है, लेकिन आपका काम रुकता नहीं है। दिस इज अ बिग डील नाउ इन HTML5 where we have web storage, okay, and we have indexed database APIs. We have what? We have indexed database APIs. याद रखें आप, हमारे पास indexed database APIs होते हैं। इसके बगैर हमारे पास फाइल सपोर्ट भी है, लोकल फाइल एक्सेस। हमारे पास लोकल फाइल एक्सेस है, लोकल फाइल एक्सेस, जो कि पहले नहीं था, क्योंकि हमारे पास फाइल एपीआईज है, हमारे पास फाइल एपीआईज है, एप्लीकेशन प्रोग्रामिंग इंटरफेसेस। हमारे पास फाइल एपीआईज हैं जो आपका फाइल, लोकल फाइल्स को रीड करेगा। सो हमारे पास फाइल राइटर्स भी है, ताकि आप फाइल को राइट भी कर सको, ठीक है ना। ऐसे भी एपीआईज है। हमारे पास ऑफलाइन सपोर्ट भी, बता रहा था मैं कि भाई आपके पास ऑफलाइन सपोर्ट भी है, यानी कि आपकी साइट जो है ना वो इंटरनेट के बगैर भी चलेगी, जो मैं बता चुका हूं अभी कैसे, और बाद में जब प्रैक्टिस करेंगे तो उसमें आपको पता चलेगा। एक और चीज इसमें इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो आपके पास है ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप। वी हैव ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप। इसमें हम थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिकल करेंगे, फिर आपको पता चलेगा कि फर्ज कीजिए कि मैंने एक शॉपिंग कार्ट बनाया, यहाँ पे मेरे आइटम्स हैं, वो हम करेंगे इसका ये यूज केस। हमारे पास आइटम्स यहाँ पर है और यहाँ पे मेरा ये है फॉर एग्जांपल क्या बोलते हैं इसको, शॉपिंग कार्ट। मैं इसको आइटम को ड्रैग करके अपने कार्ट में डालूंगा, ठीक है। मुझे सिलेक्ट नहीं, सिलेक्ट किया, सिलेक्ट 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 एंड देन से ऐड बटन, नो, आई कैन ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप माय आइटम्स इनटू द माय कार्ट, दैट्स कॉल्ड ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप। और ये फीचर लाया आपका HTML5 के अंदर, दिस आल्सो, ठीक है ना। आई विल आस्क बैक यू क्वेश्चन, सो बी रेडी। मुझे लगता है अभी टाइम इसमें इट विल बी लेस देन अ मिनट नाउ, ओके, वी जस्ट लेस देन इट विल गो, क्योंकि अचानक जाता ना फिर। सो आई एम टेलिंग लेस देन अ मिनट, सो बी रेडी, okay. Then there is a one important thing, then you should be telling me exactly what is it on the slide. Admit all, let everybody gets admit to the meeting. I think we may have to switch on to Google Meet. अब मैं पहले से इसी पे Zoom पे पढ़ा रहा था, इसलिए I'm used to this thing. I think Google Meet is better than this.
There is no time limit on that.
On Google?
Yes, we use that in office, so we can just go on for hours. No
1 hour is
problem.
in a free, there's a 1 hour time limit there.
I
But
don't
better
think
than
so.
this.
We go in more than that.
But I think Google Meet 1 hour is the time for the free. If you purchase it, then
No, no, it's
No, we
unlimited.
have free.
Google Meet is unlimited. You don't have any restricted time limit.
then we by tomorrow we'll switch on to Google Meet. Actually, I've always been teaching on the Zoom. So, and they have it was having some around 50, 55, 50 minutes time. Now they have reduced it. So tomorrow we may go on a Google Meet. Let's have a try on that, okay? So it won't be that tough for us to deal with. So I think we should get started. So we said a lot of technology is coming up on a page, right? So we say, because ISO is a collection of standards, it's not just the HTML only, it's even in fact CSS, JavaScript, and together and all. We'll see that later on. So we got support for CSS3, we got new form controls, we got new, what is E and A, elements and attributes. We got graphics on a canvas where we got the SVG, especially. Otherwise, there was what was used by the HTML4, you know? That was VML, yeah, it was used VML. We use it VML, vector markup language. Now we are using scalable vector graphics, which is in this will actually your assignment should be what is VML versus SVG. Okay, now you can understand what is the proper. You don't need to have a tons of things, but you should have clear idea between the two, right? Because before we was using the VML vector markup language, and now we are using SVG. And that too, there are all the plugins and all. And we don't have plugins. Everything is out of box, right? So we got audio video control, we got web storage in terms of web SQL database, indexed database APIs. We got local file access using file API. We got offline support. Okay. We got one important thing, which is again the Abrar and Amir's question, SEO. Okay. Search engine optimization. There we have what's called a microdata. We have microdata, okay, which is all helping us out in the SEO. We'll discuss that later on, how microdata is, how we can adapt the microdata, because the semantic tags will give the meaning to the tags, which is not in the divs and all. We'll discuss semantic tags and all by tomorrow, and we start building things, and we understand how semantic tags helps in SEO later also. So, but you have to understand all these things, what I'm telling you. There's also the support for file writer. Okay, we have a support for file. We have a file writer, which supports the file. By the way, you don't have to write anything from this. I will sending the same, what I'm writing, I will send you this thing. Okay, the file. So file writer is there. We have got what's called the background workers. We have the background ground workers. Okay, and we have couple of important things which you really need. One is the geolocation, which is inbuilt. Okay, the geolocation, which is inbuilt. We have the APIs to tag our location in our app. Where are we? The geolocation. You want to also sell you, for example, you want to build a site wherein you are delivering the packets and all. You're delivering maybe food. You have a food service, for example. You're making an app for a restaurant, and they're telling you about the customer's geolocation, right? So we have a geolocation coming up in that, which will help us in that. And most important thing, if you want to do networking, in networking, we have what's called a WebSocket. I will tell you, because when the networking comes in, one old thing came in my mind after seeing the Suhail, that I will tell you, be like a Suhail, you know? Why? Why be like a Suhail Hussain? When he was doing BCA, I will tell you, this is very important for you. This is the way when he was learning networking from my classes, and on the time of exam, you should all listen to this because I have this thing in my brain, just came up by WebSockets. I don't know why. Paper was out, networking paper was out. Okay. And they were asking some around 100 rupees or something. I don't know exactly. Suhail can tell us how much they were asking for. Suhail, that give us just 100 rupees, I will give the paper. And Suhail was a guy who said, no, I don't want papers because मैंने already पढ़ा है. ठीक है, नेटवर्किंग इसने पढ़ी है. So he didn't opt for the paper. BCA का एग्जाम था, by the way. It's not just final exam. Okay. And इसने पेपर नहीं लिया. और मुझे लगता है कि इसको उनसे ज्यादा मार्क्स आए होंगे जिन्होंने पेपर लिया. So he was the guy. He's Mr. Suhail with you right now in the banking and all, and learning here. But he's the guy, very serious person. I have seen a very serious students, and we were no. I remember when he was creating his project in the college and using laptop everywhere with the wall, sitting with the wall and with the college, right? So Alhamdulillah, we have such students here. So anyways, so geolocation and WebSockets is which are required and which are actually again inbuilt. So we have all these things inbuilt. Okay. Now we go on a slide and ask you the question. You will be answering me the things, right? So this is the goals of HTML. So the goals are firstly reduce the need of external plugins. Is everybody clear with this? That we don't need external plugins, right? फिर उनको update का पंगा, फिर उनके crash होने का पंगा, वो अब नहीं है. So because we have everything is out of box. Because when we say the dialogue we say is everything is out of box. भाई सब सारा हमारे पास यहीं पे है. We don't need the external plugins and all. Okay? और वो scripts वगैरह हमारे पास, इसलिए हमारे पास JavaScript की जरूरत पड़ती है इसमें, because we need the scripts to run those APIs and all. और इसमें backend support भी है नहीं. You can go to the, अगर आपके पास old sites हैं, no problem, you can work on that. And there is a semantic definition, जहाँ पे जो हम कल actually semantics we will deal tomorrow. And okay, so I think I go forward. So these are some new elements like articles and aside and audio, the canvas, the data list, the markups, and tons of things which we're going to deal. Typically these are the guys we're going to deal with, right? Okay. Maximum time when people think about an HTML, they think like the bold tag and the strong tag and all. So it is not about HTML5. That is the old story, right? So those things will come. We have to learn them also because there are some beginners. But actually, these things are what we're going to learn. Okay. Now, other new features, built-in audio video, clear. Enhanced form control, I told you with attributes, canvas, drag and drop, support for CSS3, and more advanced features, जैसे data storage. Data storage के लिए क्या बताया मैंने? Anyone tell me what I told you? Data storage we have. Yes, anyone?
SQL, web SQL.
Absolutely, WebSQL. We got even all the file supports and all, right? Simplicity. HTML5 is also the simple. आपके पास अगर डॉक टाइप पहले का होता ना, उसमें पसीना निकलेगा याद करते करते इसको, जो आपका डॉक टाइप था. Now we got simple doc type HTML in HTML5. Very simple, right? So simple is just 15 characters long. So it has made really, developers' life easy. XHTML में आप देखोगे आपका लैंग्वेज के लिए इतना लंबा चौड़ा लिखना पड़ता था, यहाँ पे HTML lang is equal to en, जो परसों हमने देखा, simple as it is, so it's very simple also, right? So जो आपके पास XHTML में head section है और आपका अपना देखें HTML5 का, it is really compact and very simple, right, and meaningful and so on. So this is the basic HTML5 web page, which is really simple and really concise, and this is how it looks. So typically we have video and audio support. Okay, we have vector graphics. So what I told you, what is vector graphics? Anyone tell me?
Where we use mathematical functionality for graphic design.
Exactly.
I mean,
Like we have the SVG right now. Okay. Okay. So, and there are the storage, there web browser support, ease of use, and we have already discussed this. This is, by the way, logo. You should also listen, remember the logo of the HTML5 and the rest, the back. Now, this is the video and audio. So, what about the video and audio in the before HTML5? What was it? They were not part of HTML. So, what are you gonna do? You're gonna again have the external plugins and do the things. But here, video and audio are integral part of HTML5. We have tags for it, where you can put video and audio in your page. Okay. Vector graphics. What do we have in the before? What do we have before? We got the VML. We got the Silverlight. Also write what is Silverlight. Assignment. What is Silverlight? What is VML? And what is VML versus SVG in assignment? Okay. Because these assignments actually will make you, the proper developer, where the people have with the knowledge. There's a difference between somebody knowing HTML and somebody having knowledge. You understand that? There's a people who have no HTML and JavaScript, but there are somebody who is having knowledge. These assignments will make a difference. So make them seriously. Be serious in doing the assignments. There is Ishfaq, which is not with the camera. I don't know why. He's not with the camera. And others also not with the camera. They should open up the cameras. Storage. What we had before, we had the browser cache, which was using for the temporary storage. We had cookies also. But here we have the web SQL and web storage is used, right? Okay. Browser support. All the new browsers, they are switching to HTML5 and they are not supporting, even Internet Explorer and all this gone case. Now we have the new browsers, they are moving towards the HTML5, and in the future, they may, actually do not support like they didn't support the Flash, Adobe Flash, which uses the you have to play the Flash videos and all. We use the Adobe Flash plugin in your browsers before HTML5. Now HTML5, it has inbuilt audio and video and all, so you don't need the Adobe Flash and all. And now browsers they're not supporting it. So Flash is gone, it's dead, right? So similar, that means in 2016, actually 5.1 will come up. Maybe in 2018 up to 5.1 will come up, and it will be a lot of things. Okay, so that means if you are done with the HTML5, you will be easily upgrading to HTML 5.1. There will be new feature, but it will be based on these things. And that means the old things, it will be banned. It won't be supported. Banned means it won't be supported by your browsers. So जब browser में वो चलेगा ही नहीं, तो वो automatically dead हो जाएगा, right? So ease of use. Can I remember how it is ease of use? अभी हमने दिखाया, है ना? There are tons of things जो कि plugin से करना पड़ता था, third party plugins and third party चीजें, उनकी चीजें इस्तेमाल करना, फिर वो embed करना अपने HTML में. It was a tough job. Now your HTML has its own tags to deal with all those things. So it will be ease. It will be better for the developers and also for the users, right? And also simplicity in tags, in simplicity in tags. There are also new elements and also new attributes added, right? And some tags are deprecated. They are gone. Like frame tag. We had a frame tag. It is no more now. Okay? Okay. Now, these are some new elements like canvas. This won't make a lot of sense to you right now, but we will start dealing with these things, then you will understand it, what we are doing. Okay. Now, menu and figures. Figures is, I can give a little bit of it. If, for example, you have a figure, you have a picture, and then you want to put up the fig tag, the fig and figure. There are two things. There is a manual tag. There is, for example, you have a figure tag where you can have a figure of the picture and you put up on the bottom the text, the figure A, figure B, and write. So it will give you the ease of drawing the figures on your browser. Maybe you are building a book, pages on your pages, and then there are a lot of figures. So the figure tag and fig tag will come into play. There's audio and video tags, which will help us into the audio and video. And there are a lot of controls, on the attributes. Attribute, what the attribute means that if this is a tag, so audio is a tag, then there are attributes which will have a control on that. Okay, like autoplay, like controls. You want to have a controls on that or not? It's called an attribute. So because I told you in the beginning that we have a tag, right? We have a tag, say for example, opening the tag, then we have a tag name. We have a tag name. Then after that comes the attributes. There can be tons of attributes which tell us about the tag, how the tag will behave. Okay. Then we close the tag, and then we have the content here, what we want to show to the user. And then we close that tag with the /. And sometimes, maximum times, we don't have the closing, we have self-closing tags. They call self-closing. And in overall, we call them as an elements. Right? And we can select these elements in the DOM. We will read DOM inside out, then you will understand. And today we have a complete object-oriented support of the DOM. We understand the DOM, you understand the JavaScript, and literally, you are done with the front end. If you understand the JavaScript properly and the manipulation of the DOM, therein we select these elements, okay? And we can select them by the tag name, by the IDs, and there are tons of things we can do. Okay. What else is we have here? So this is your semantic elements, which we actually discuss tomorrow. Just giving a little briefing today, but tomorrow we'll start dealing with the semantic HTML and drawing these things. What is the difference between the two? First, we understand today this thing only. That what is the difference between the old HTML and the new HTML5 is we had here the divs. And the div was not specific. It was general purpose, just an area. You can use div for the header. For example, this is my header section where I want to put the header of my page. Okay. Say, for example, I say islamiacollege.edu.in, whatever. This is my header. Now, what do? You will create a div with a class header. Okay. Now, this div work as a header. Now, this div, here's a span. I use a span class. I use a span tag, and I use it as a class or ID as a nav. That you build the navigation. The nav means navigation in this. This is what we did, what we used to do. That we have this header where we put the header of the site. Then we have the span where we put the navigation. We have buttons, for example, home page, the login page, this page, that page, and this navigation is built on the span. And then again, the div for on an aside, what we call as an aside, that we created the div for the aside, where we have the side stuff. For example, maybe this is for the news or notifications and all, scrolling notifications or all. Maybe we have scrolling notifications here. But again, it's a div. Okay. Now we want to build our articles, the main articles of the page. Okay. Again, they were div. Then we created the name for them, different names using the class and IDs and all. Okay. But HTML5 told us, why, bro? We need separate areas for specific purposes. Again, it is not a different. The header tag is same as the div. Only thing is the header now gives us the meaning. जो मैं इस हेडर को बता रहा था भाई क्लास हेडर है, अब टैग ही मैंने इसको किया कि भाई ये हेडर के लिए मुझे है, जहाँ पे जो वेबसाइट है उसकी हेडिंग चाहिए, तो why not keep it a header tag there? Okay, why not call a tag as a header? Why we call it as a div and then name it as header, and class is equal to header? Where we do that? Why don't we call it not a div but a header? Okay, same is the nav tag, then aside tag. Then we got the main tag, we got the article tag, we got the figure tag, we got the P tag, we got the section tag, we got the footer. Usually we create the div, okay? And I use it for footer. I call it div, and then I use the class or ID. If say for example ID is equal to footer, FOO. I don't know why this pen is not writing properly today. Okay. Now this is again the div, use it for footer. But now I created a tag which is itself called footer. And these are called semantic. Why semantic? Because there are two things in the being called semantic. And somebody has, मैं देख रहा था थोड़ा सा मैंने देखा, उसने लिखा था एक तो accessibility का मसला आता है और एक SEO. जिस semantic जो आपका है ना, it gives us two things. One is accessibility and one is SEO. दो आपके इसमें फायदे हैं. एक accessibility. What is your accessibility? Anyone tell me what's accessibility? कोई बताएगा accessibility क्या होती है? आपके लैपटॉप में तो हमेशा accessibility रहती है जो जिसमें आप चीजें करते हो. accessibility में क्या करते हैं हम?
सर मतलब जैसे ना हम इसको ना हम अच्छे से रख सकते हैं ना, जैसे हमारे पास डॉक्यूमेंट्स होंगे तो उनको हम अपने जैसे डाउनलोड फोल्डर है तो उसमें रायता फैल जाता है, जैसे ये हमारा लिंक था तो हम उसको जो भी हमारा डॉक्यूमेंट्स होंगे तो उनको हम अच्छे से रख सकते हैं, तो दिस सिमेंटिक टैग सर्व दैट पर्पस उनको हम, और सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन में भी ये यूज होता है।
नहीं, फिलहाल accessibility मुझे बताएं, accessibility में कैसे हेल्प करेगा, कोई बताएगा मुझे? और not satisfied with the answer. आपका accessibility फीचर अगर आप देखोगे ना अपना, उसमें क्या करते हैं, फॉन्ट इंक्रीज किया, बड़ा कर दिया ताकि अच्छे से दिखे. अक्सर accessibility में क्या होता है, आपको माउस, जो आपका माउस का पॉइंटर है उसको बड़ा कर दिया, आपको दिख नहीं रहा था अच्छे से. मेरी आई साइड में प्रॉब्लम है तो मैं इसको बड़ा करूंगा, या मैं डिस्प्ले को थोड़ा घटाऊंगा, बढ़ाऊंगा, फॉन्ट साइज इंक्रीज करूंगा, मैग्नीफायर लगाऊंगा ताकि अच्छे से दिखे वगैरह. एक्सेसिबिलिटी में ये चीजें करते हैं ना हम. तो क्लिक की आवाज हो. अब सिमेंटिक टैग से क्या हो जाएगा भाई? सिमेंटिक टैग से
मतलब इट विल डिफरेंशिएट, हेडर से हमारा अलग समझ आएगा. हेडर है, ऐसे डिव्स आ रहे हैं तो मे बी कोड में वो परेशानी होगी ढूंढने में कि कौन सा डिव कौन सा है.
आपको एक चीज पहले करना है, व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज वेब क्राउलर. व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज वेब, आपका गूगल जो है ना, गूगल, क्योंकि अगर आप सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन समझना चाहते हो तो यू नीड ट्रांसफॉर्म, क्योंकि मैंने एक सर्च इंजन बेसिकली बनाया था पाइथन में एक बार. वो यूडेसिटी पे कोर्स आया था, मैं एमसीए कर रहा था उन दिनों. मैंने उसके ऊपर एक वेब क्रॉलर बनाया था, मुझे अभी याद आ गया. तो आपका गूगल बॉट होता है जो आपकी साइट के अंदर जाके जानता है. सो जो सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन आप करते हो ना उसमें, तो वो जो गूगल वेब क्रॉलर्स होते हैं वो आपकी साइट के अंदर जाके, मैं आपको बताऊंगा कैसे करोगे. आपको एक साइट है, वहां पे जाके आप किसी भी साइट का वेब क्रॉल करके वो कर सकते हो. विल डू दैट, आई विल टेल यू टुमारो. ओके. लेकिन फिलहाल मुझे आप ये बताएं कि जो वेब क्रॉलर है ना, एक तो एसेसिबिलिटी में आपका वेब क्रॉलर में फायदा आएगा बिकॉज एसईओ हम कह रहे हैं, और एसेसिबिलिटी होता है. देखिए, कोई अंधा है या लाइट कम है या अंधा ही है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ठीक है, समझे बात को, और वो आपकी साइट पे आ गया, ठीक है, और वो क्या करता है, वो स्क्रीन रीडर्स को चालू करता है. किसको चालू करता है? स्क्रीन रीडर्स. और स्क्रीन रीडर्स में जब सिमेंटिक टैग्स देखेगा, भाई वो हेडर टैग है, ये नैव टैग है, पहले ही स्क्रीन रीडर को समझ आ जाती है कि इसमें नेविगेशन है, इसमें हेडर है, इसमें एसाइड है, इसमें आर्टिकल है, तो मेन आर्टिकल है, ये फुटर है, इसमें कॉपीराइट का होगा या कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल्स होंगी, ऑलरेडी पता है इसको. तो स्क्रीन रीडर्स पे ऑप्टिमाइजर होते हैं. लेकिन आपके सिमेंटिक, क्योंकि सिमेंटिक का मतलब होता है मीनिंग. सिमेंटिक का मतलब क्या होता है? मीनिंग. कि आपका टैग जो डिव था ना वो मीनिंगलेस था, तो डिव आपने हर जगह इस्तेमाल किया, ठीक है. अब अब आपने कहा आपका मकान था, आपने पहले कहा था कमरा. हम ऐसे डिव डिव और स्पैन जो है ना आपके, वो ऐसे एनालॉजी ले लो कि मकान बनाने में मैंने कहा कमरा. क्या कहा मैंने? अब किचन भी कमरा, ड्राइंग रूम भी कमरा, ठीक है, हर एक चीज कमरा. लेकिन अब मैंने कहा नहीं नहीं नहीं, आप ये मत करो, अब किचन बोलो, अब ड्राइंग रूम बोलो. तो जब स्क्रीन रीडर किचन पढ़ेगा तो सीधे ब्लाइंड को समझ आएगा कि तो भाई किचन है, वहां खाना खाने पीने का इंतजाम है, ठीक है. जब स्क्रीन रीडर पढ़ेगा ये वाला टैग है, ये ड्राइंग रूम है तो इसे अब मतलब आ गया ना, इस चीज से सिमेंटिक्स आ गया। जो मैंने पहले कहा था रूम, एवरीबडी इज ए रूम, एवरी रूम इज ए रूम, राइट। लेकिन रूम एक जनरल पर्पस था, वो डिव और स्पैन आपका है, ठीक है। लेकिन सिमेंटिक्स जब आपने डाल दिया, आपने प्रॉपर नेम दिया, कॉन्टेक्स्ट डाल दिया, आपने सिमेंटिक्स डाल दिया। अब आप बता रहे हो किचन, तो स्क्रीन रीडर जो है वो पहले ही प्रॉपरली इसको पढ़ पाएंगे, भाई ये हेडर है, ये नेविगेशन है, तो इसमें नेविगेशन हो गया, यू कैन क्लिक ऑन इट टू गो टू द अदर पेजेस एंड ऑल। सो जो ब्लाइंड्स हैं उनको आपको फायदा आएगा, एक तो वो चीज है। दूसरा जो वेब क्रॉलर है, विच इज एसईओ, व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू, जो सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन, वेब क्रॉलर जाके आपके पेज में जाके घुस के वो फिर आपका जो है ना, जैसे आप कैसे ये करते हो काम कि आपने गूगल में कोई सर्च किया और पहला पेज कोई आ गया, कोई लास्ट पे आ गया, कोई 500 पेज के बाद आ गया, ठीक है ना। वो कैसे आता है, उसमें वेब क्रॉलर्स ही काम करते हैं, वेब क्रॉलर्स ही आपके सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन करते हैं और उसको बेटर बना दे कि भाई ये साइट अच्छी है कि नहीं है, इसमें वो कंटेंट है कि नहीं है। तो जो आपके स्पेसिफिक टैग्स हैं, उनमें क्या बैठा है आपकी साइट के अंदर, इन हेडर टैग्स में क्या बैठा है, इस नैव टैग में क्या बैठा है, एसआई टैग में क्या बैठा है। नाउ इट इज मोर स्पेसिफिक, इट इज नॉट जनरल पर्पस। पहले जनरल पर्पस हमने कहा रूम, अब हम ब्राउज़र पे बोलते हैं किचन, तो अब किचन का ही काम होगा ना, आप किचन ढूंढ रहे हो तो किचन गूगल आपको बता देगा। सो व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज एन एसईओ, सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन हमारी हो जाएगी। कैसे हो जाएगी, लेट्स गो टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। ओके, सो पहला काम एसेसिबिलिटी का है, किसका है, पढ़े इसको थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि जिसको विजन होगा उसको तो सीधे दिखेगा भाई ये ऐसे है, हेडर है, यहाँ पे ये है, असाइड है, यहाँ पे ये है। लेकिन जो विजुअली इंपेयर्ड होंगे तो उनको स्क्रीन रीडर बताएगा कि भाई साहब यहाँ से असाइड है, यहाँ से ये है। तो इसमें कुछ मीनिंग आ गया इन एरियाज का, जो एरियाज हमने वेब पेज के एरियाज जो हमने डिक्लेयर किए उनके कुछ मीनिंग्स आ गए, सिमेंटिक्स आ गए, ठीक है ना। और एसईओ में क्या करेंगे हम काम, सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन, क्योंकि अब इन टैग्स का रोल आ गया आपको। जो वेब क्रॉलर्स होते हैं, ठीक है, एक चीज आपका है जिसे बोलते हैं साइट ऑडिट। क्या बोलते हैं, साइट ऑडिट। ये पेज आप खोलेंगे, उसमें आपकी फ्री ट्रायल करेंगे, फ्री ट्रायल आपका आ जाएगा साइट ऑडिट का, ठीक है। और जैसे मैंने ये दिखे, ये साइट ऑडिट है, साइट, अब साइट ऑडिट सेमरुश की आती है, ये साइट ऑडिट, उस पे जाएं, वेब पेज पे जाएंगे बाद में आप। और साइट ऑडिट में क्या करेंगे काम, उसमें कोई साइट लिखें आप, जो भी आपकी साइट है, ठीक है ना, ऐसे, वन सेकेंड, ये साइट ऑडिट साइट है, यहाँ पे आप अपनी साइट लिखोगे, जो भी आपका डोमेन होगा, कॉल इट एज अ डोमेन। ओके, नाउ यू स्टार्ट ऑडिट, फिर आप उसमें इश्यूज में जाएंगे, ठीक है। और इश्यूज के बाद आप वहां टैग सर्च करेंगे और वो आपको बताएगा कि क्या क्या इश्यूज आपके साइट के अंदर है, ठीक है। जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे islamicccollege.edu.in इसको सर्च किया, नाउ आई जस्ट गो इनसाइड, मैंने इसको क्रॉल, फिर उसमें बताया कि ऑडिट लगाओ, इसने बताया कि 295 इसमें एरर्स, इसमें इतनी वार्निंग्स है, इतनी नोटिस एंड ऑल। तो ये क्रॉलेबिलिटी इसमें 93% है, साइट परफॉर्मेंस 95, ये सारी डिटेल्स आपको स्टैटिक्स का बताएगा साइट का। तो इस तरीके से सर्च इंजन जो ऑप्टिमाइजेशन आपके है ना, फिर इश्यूज में जाएंगे, यहाँ पे हम कहेंगे टैग। यहाँ से हमारी मीटिंग दूसरी भी खत्म होने को है, वी से टैग, ओके। एंड वी starting and tells 47 issues with duplicate title tags। तो इसमें 47 डुप्लीकेट टाइटल टैग्स हैं, उसमें आप फिक्स भी कर सकते हो। जो आप कल साइट बनाओगे उसमें आप जो सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन के लिए आपको ये चीजें करनी होंगी फिर, ठीक है। बस में आ रही मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ। सो कुल मिला के फिर आप फिक्स करोगे ये चीजें। और वेब क्रॉलर, राइट, और ऐसे में लिखिए अपने वेब क्रॉलर, वेब क्रॉलर आप लिखो, और साइट ऑडिट, इस पे थोड़ा सा किसी साइट को देखो और थोड़ा वर्कआउट करो इसमें कि हाउ वेब क्रॉलर वर्क्स। यू हैव टू आल्सो अंडरस्टैंड हाउ वेब क्रॉलर वर्क्स। वो आप चाहे असाइनमेंट लिखे या नहीं लिखे, बट यू हैव टू रीड सम पेजेस ऑन इट। where you can learn how web crawler works, how search engine optimization happen. Because when you are making a site, you also want to make it a successful. That is the story, right? If you want to make a site, you want to make it a successful. How will it be successful? How can be your site successful? Can anyone tell me? Server, can you tell us how your site can be successful?
When it is ranked up in the Google search.
What? Yes, हाँ आपने ठीक बताया था. क्या बताया आपने? फिर से बताएं.
When it is ranked, when it is
Read this. What is this? क्या लिखा है? The search engine result page, SERP. ठीक है ना? ये आपका वेब क्रॉलर करके देता है कि आपको SERP पे हिट आ रही है, आपकी साइट की SERP ज्यादा है. ठीक है, तो जिसकी बंदे की SERP, ये जो गूगल है ना, गूगल बॉट उनके पास है, वो उनका वेब क्रॉलर है अपना, लाइक गूगल बॉट. वो आपके कंटेंट्स को देखता है, देन वो SERP अपडेट करता है. उस हिसाब से देन आप कोई चीज सर्च करोगे. जैसे अगर आप डिजिटल मेगा ट्रेंड्स, मेरी वेबसाइट है, मेरी ये ना यूट्यूब की चैनल, उसको अगर आप सर्च करोगे, मुमकिन है वो बहुत बाद में आएगी. लेकिन ऐसे लोग जिनकी हाई ट्रैफिक है, उनको गूगल जो है ना, उसकी इनकी SERP बड़ी हाई है, तो वो फटाक से आ जाती है. तो जब आपने कुछ सर्च किया, जैसे आपका कोई प्रोडक्ट आपने बनाया, आपने कोई साइट बनाई, कोई प्रोडक्ट बनाया आपने, अब ऐसी प्रोडक्ट करोड़ों होंगी दुनिया के अंदर जो लोगों ने बनाई होगी, है ना? लेकिन अगर आपको उसको सक्सेसफुल बनाना है, so you don't have to think about only design, you have to think about SEO, search engine optimization. जब तक वो हिट नहीं होगी, ठीक है ना, वायरल नहीं होगी आपकी साइट से, बोलते हैं ना कश्मीर में या कोई वायरल, सो इट हैज टू बी वायरल. वो कैसे होगा? इट्स अ साइंस बिहाइंड इट. ये हंग मंग नहीं कसा, देयर इज अ साइंस बिहाइंड इट. सो यू बिल्ड अप अ टैग्स, your perspective now totally change when you talk about SEO. कि नॉर्मल टैग्स नहीं बनाने, इनको बनाना है इन टर्म्स ऑफ वेब क्रॉलर, इन टर्म्स ऑफ SEO, इन टर्म्स ऑफ SERP. बात समझ आती है? सो SERP के हिसाब से आपको साइट बनानी, आपके टैग्स बनाने, सो दैट. तो यहां पे आता है आपका सिमेंटिक्स की जरूरत. जो सिमेंटिक टैग है, दैट हेल्प्स टू सो दैट योर साइट इज नाइसली क्रॉल्ड. क्योंकि जब वेब क्रॉलर आएगा, उसको सिमेंटिक्स नहीं मिलेगा, उसको कुछ फायदा नहीं आएगा आपकी साइट में घुस के. जब आपकी साइट किसी ने यूज की, तो ऑटोमेटिकली गूगल विल स्टार्ट यूजिंग द वेब क्रॉलर, एंड उसमें जब वो क्रॉल करेगा, तो वो क्रॉलेबल ही नहीं होगा अगर आपने टैग्स प्रॉपरली नहीं, सिमेंटिक्स अच्छे से नहीं दिया है. सो उनका रिजल्ट उतना अच्छा ही नहीं आएगा, तो आपकी SERP हिट रैशो में नहीं आएगा, और आपकी साइट जो है वो हिट नहीं होगी. सो मैक्सिमम कस्टमर्स वोंट रीच टू यू. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड? सो बीइंग ए वेब developer is not only, this is the moral point of this, that maximum people think, no, we do coding and all. That's not a big thing. You understand a concept, and the coding is simple, right? But the overall dynamics of being web developer is in knowledge. Do you understand these things? एक सिंपल टैग देखो, पर्सपेक्टिव कितना चेंज हो गया. एक सिंपल टैग आपने लगाया हेडर, नॉर्मल एक बंदा भी लगाएगा, दूसरा बंदा लगाएगा वेब क्रॉलर को दिमाग में रख के, SEO को दिमाग में रख के, क्योंकि इसको अपनी साइट को सिर्फ बनाना ही नहीं है, बल्कि हिट भी करनी है. इट शुड रीड मैक्सिमम टारगेट्स. ठीक है जी, समझ आया? So if you understand, if your perspective change today, by tomorrow, then we build any tag and we keep the web crawler in mind and we keep the SEO in mind, तो फिर आज के दिन के पैसे वसूल. हाँ जी, ठीक है. अरे यार, तुम लोग इतने सीरियस हो, थोड़ी हंसी तो दे दो यार. आप लोगों को जोक भी समझ नहीं आता है, ऐसे क्या मसला है? कभी हंसना भी चाहिए. वो कह रहा था, वो कदे हंस भी किया करो. Now you should also learn to smile, because we should enjoy this class. क्योंकि जब थ्योरी पढ़ाते हैं ना, तो उसमें बोरिंग हो जाता है. That's why I put up these tags and all these ना, ताकि इसमें थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट आ जाती है, जो आपका ये, जब इसमें चीज़ें आ जाती हैं. अदरवाइज सारा लिखेंगे हाथ से तो फिर बोरिंग हो जाता है. Now by tomorrow, what do you do? By tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala, you will have again the laptop in front of you and phone on a side. Okay, maybe you have some, जिसमें फोन आप ग्रैब करोगे एंड ऑल, या फोन किसी जगह रखेंगे आप, और लैपटॉप पे मेरे साथ काम करेंगे. विल वर्क टुगेदर, विल ट्राई टू बिल्ड द सिमेंटिक्स. ठीक है, फिर हमारे पास बहुत सारी चीजें सीखनी है, लेकिन पहले हम लेआउट को सीखेंगे कि, और उसमें सिमेंटिक्स को कैसे करेंगे, माइक्रो डेटा कैसे बढ़ेंगे फॉर एग्जाम्पल, पता नहीं कल हम कर पाएंगे उतना या नहीं, लेकिन जैसे माइक्रो डेटा हमें पढ़ना है, तो माइक्रो डेटा कैसे लाएंगे, क्योंकि वो भी एसईओ में आपको हेल्प करेगा। आप ऑथर नेम बीच में ही डाल रहे हो, मेटा टैग में नहीं, आप कॉन्टेक्ट, क्योंकि मेटा टैग्स और इनमें क्या फर्क होगी, जो मैं कल आमिर डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ। मेटा टैग्स आर ओनली ऑन द टॉप, जो जो दिखेगा नहीं यूजर को, लेकिन जो आपका सिमेंटिक्स है, इट इज फॉर द कस्टमर, दे आर इट इज द बॉडी ऑफ योर वेब पेज, इज द सोल ऑफ योर वेब पेज, ओके, एंड इट इज व्हाट यू शो देयर, यू बुल्ड द सिमेंटिक्स। ठीक है ना, ठीक है जी, एनी क्वेश्चंस? आवाज ठीक से आ रही है? एनी इश्यूज विद द, बाय द वे टुमारो वी गो मूव टू द गूगल मीट, ओके, गूगल मीट से ही करेंगे, और एनी अदर ऑप्शंस वी कैन हैव other than this Zoom?
Microsoft
Team, I think.
Microsoft Teams.
Microsoft Teams, yeah.
Teams.
Yeah,
Team.
Teams is also an option, yeah, right. Mostly याद पूछना है ना, Mac, they have support on Mac, वो तो उसमें विंडोज वाले में था वो Microsoft Teams, वो तो आज ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम उधर से ही आता है ना, विंडोज 11 चढ़ा दिया उसके साथ ही आ जाता है Microsoft Teams।
ब्राउजर पे भी सपोर्ट होता है।
ब्राउजर
गूगल मीट भी अच्छा है।
गूगल मीट मुझे लगता है हम वी विल स्विच टू द गूगल मीट। जूम को हम कल अलविदा बोलेंगे।
Now, how many types of SEO are there? Is there?
How many? Yes, some question was coming. How many types of something?
So kindly check the chat box.
Chat box. You can talk, you have mic, no problem. Others can also, work out. Microsoft Teams, iOS support. iOS support Microsoft Teams. अच्छा, Zuhur Ahmed question पूछ रहे हैं, how many types of SEO are there? Is there only this semantic type or no, there are not types of SEO. SEO is not something which has types. SEO means search engine optimization. So search engine optimization is not kind of there are 1, 2, 3, 4 things, right? It is in everything. You have to design your site, कि आपने tags बनाए, तो you have to consider SEO. Micro data बनाए, you have to think about SEO. आपने meta tags बनाया, you have to think about SEO, because search engine optimization is very important for your site to become hit, right? So there are kind of a types and all, okay? In everything you do, you have to keep in mind, that's what I'm telling you, your perspective should change today, that you are building your site, you have to keep SEO in your mind, okay? And you have to see how web crawler work. Basically, you have to understand how web crawler work, because by that you can gauge how my site can be the best site, okay? So you will work today on how web crawlers work. Anybody who can add up these things? Anything to add up to this question or any other question? Assembly options in case क्या बोल रहे थे यहाँ पे? SSB has option in case the person has disability. Yes, very good. Fazik Firdos has said something. There is also Skype. Yes. To make it easier for person to use the computer. Very good. Accessibility के बारे में बता रहा है Fazik Firdos. You could use mic. Most of the browsers doesn't support older versions of HTML. They can only be used in Internet Explorer. What is the difference between API and REST APIs? Yes. This is a very good question. In fact, this should be the assignment.